Welcome to Fantasy Ambush. I am your host, Trevor Blanchard. With me is my co-host.
Hey, I'm Paul.
He's
Sup?
Paul. He's Paul,
Paul.
and we're here because in 2 days, a little less than 48 hours from now, we're gonna have our first NFL game officially on Thursday. It's gonna be awesome. Um, very, very excited about that. Excited for
Yep.
week one of the
Paul.
NFL, right? We've been waiting for it for way too long. We've been commentating and speculating, and I'm just ready to see some football and see how much I'm right and how much I kind of missed a little bit.
Yep.
So, with that being said, this episode we're gonna go through the week one matchups and we're gonna say who we think is going to win. Um, we'll give fantasy relevant players on Thursday night's game, the Bills and the Rams, and then tomorrow's episode we'll hit all the other 15 games and then talk about those fantasy relevant players. So, um,
Sounds
with that
good.
being said, you ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. So, we'll start with Thursday night's game. Bills versus the Rams. Who do you have winning?
Okay. The Bills win 99 to nothing. The Rams start their season 0-17. All right. Next.
Okay, so I
The,
I I have the Bills
let,
winning the game,
all right.
right? And what you're gonna see from me in this episode is I'm gonna have matchups where I'm gonna put a little star next to them, right?
Mhm.
And that little star signifies that I could see the Rams winning or the other team winning, right?
Okay.
But I'm picking my favorite, and not all, every matchup is gonna be like that. Like, but there are some that are closer than I think, and I can see it going the other way. So if you're betting, if you're doing DFS or something like that, look, maybe that'll nudge you in a different direction than what you were going. So,
So
um,
I'd say I looked at the schedule, and honestly, there's really not many like bad games. Like, oh, that's an easy W. Like especially because it's the first week of the season. It's almost like it's still kind of preseason football. Like it'll be sloppy a bit. So you know, uh,
yeah,
even
I would say out of like the 16 matchups that are going to happen, 8 of them have a star next to them.
yeah, and I'd say like even the games that people consider easy, there are no easy W's. Like for example, the Niners open up against the Bears. Like, would it be a shocker if the Bears won? Like, not that much to me. Like
I
it
think
would
it
be
would.
surprising, but I feel like with the first week of the year, like we saw it last year. Like, I mean, it's the history. I remember the year the Patriots won the Super Bowl. I think it was like 15. They got blown out in the opener.
Yeah.
By the I think it was Kansas City possibly, and everybody was like laughing at the Patriots, and then they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So like
Yeah, I mean, look,
it's
week one is gonna start kind of telling the tale, right? I think that's kind of what you're saying. Like, we have these preconceived notions based on the teams from last year, plus their additions, plus the things they've lost. And I mean, look, that's how rankings go, right? It's a new year. There's new players. There's old
coach.
players that have developed. There's new coaching. There's old, like there's a bunch. Don't get me wrong. I 100% agree with you in the sense that there's a bunch of things that are happening and you just don't know. Um,
Yeah,
but go ahead.
this is the NFL for a reason.
Yes.
There are no, you know, and also this year it's like it seems different. There's really no like super garbage teams in my opinion. Like I understand that people are down on the Bears, but I feel like they have some people interesting. For example, like the Detroit Lions. I like what they're doing. Like there's not that. I mean, okay, the Seahawks are pretty bad,
The
but
Falcons, the Falcons.
Falcons Falcons are pretty bad. Yeah, there definitely a few teams are like wow, but it's nice. Like even on the Falcons and the Seahawks, you have some nice, even for like fantasy football, some great, you know,
Well,
receivers and stuff.
yeah, fantasy will change things for sure.
Yeah.
Because your team could suck and you can still have some fantasy relevant players. There's no question about that.
So,
Um,
anyways, the picks. Okay.
yeah. So the
Bills,
Bills versus
Bills.
Rams.
Yeah, I was just fucking around. Bills 44, Rams 41. I
Whew,
believe Allen will lead them on a late, you know, 2 minute drive to win the game. That's
yeah.
how I see
Okay. I didn't really pick a finishing score.
it.
I just picked Bills to win. I think Las Vegas has them at +3. No, minus 3 maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, by 3 points. They have the game being decided by 3 points. I think that's fair. Man, both these teams have some good defenses, right? And those defenses aren't perfect, but they're some good defenses, and they could have amazing offenses. I don't quite trust the Rams' run game. I've said that before. That's mostly just because I mean, their two main running backs got hurt. They're kind of back, but they're beat up already, and it's not even week one. So we'll see what happens. And then Stafford's elbow. Hopefully, nothing comes of that. Hopefully he plays the whole season. It's not a problem. Um, Cooper Cup's
It'll
still on
be
that
interesting to
team.
see. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Von Miller feasts on that bad O line. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of what I'm curious to see. I just think the Bills have kind of a wider range of weapons and attacks to them. Being that Josh Allen's such a mobile quarterback, um, their run game doesn't have to be that great. I think it'd be better than last year's. But I don't expect their run game to be um terrible because as long as Josh Allen's running the ball, that keeps that open, right? And defenses have to definitely keep an eye on him. So, with that being said, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Dawson Knox, um, these are all guys I could see, um, just going off beast mode. And I think the Rams are going to have some great plays. I don't know if I would see like a 41-44 finish. I really don't. Like I think we're going to get maybe in the 30s. I think that defense is going to make a difference. I want to be surprised to see each quarterback throw like one interception. That's within the realm of possibility. So this matchup, I do have a star next to because I chose the Bills, but I could easily see the Rams taking it. Um, they're both tough teams. This is a probably one of the biggest matchups of Week 1 is right here, which is going to be Thursday night. So looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think, I mean, this could easily be a Super Bowl, um, this year. So it's, stars everywhere, two of the best teams. It'll be interesting to see Stafford's arm. There's been a bunch of, scary reports about his elbow. But yeah, I mean, I expect big a big offensive game. It should be fun to watch.
Yes, for sure. Anybody out there playing daily fantasy? There is a like how I think it's like a $3 million competition. It's like a $10 buy-in um
Okay.
on the Thursday night game. So I really like that. Like I feel really good about this game as far as DFS is concerned. And it's a captain mode, so you choose a captain and you pick five more players, and it's a salary based system. Um, so if you're playing DFS, man, check it out. I think I got Gabe Davis as my captain because he was pretty cheap,
Mhm.
and then I went
Yeah.
out and got Josh Allen. I think Allen Robinson. I picked Devery Henderson, and then what maybe Stephon Diggs or somebody like that. Um,
Mhm.
I like it. You can choose it up. There's ways you can get Cooper Cup in there if you think he's going to be a monster that game. But his price tag is like
Yeah.
stupid high. So he's probably like his salary is probably like 5,000 more than like the next best player almost. So
Everybody else.
yeah. So just saying for DFS, check that game out. Enter that competition. Look, bro, you could probably make some money. I'm hoping I do. Um,
Mhm.
as far as fantasy is concerned, being that that's a Thursday night game, we're gonna get this episode out before it airs, before Thursday night's game. I'll probably do it tomorrow actually, which will be Wednesday, and that way y'all can, set your fantasy lineups or whatever for that game, and then we'll do the rest of the fantasy players for the other games on tomorrow's episode, if I haven't already mentioned that. So for the Rams, I'm going to ask you, Paul, starter sit, and then once you answer, I'll give you my opinion, and we can kind of talk about it, then move on to the next player. Um, so starting with the Rams, Matthew Stafford. Start,
Start. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
start.
I mean,
Look,
I would say
good.
I want to say first of all, like I don't mean to upset any Bills fans, but their defense has got to be one of the more overrated things in this league. Okay, so they were the number one defense last year, and I get it. But if you look at the offenses that they faced last year, it was a easier than most teams' schedule. The AFC East last year was not great. Um, so I think that Stafford will have. I mean, Stafford's used to having to play Arizona, San Francisco's defenses, so I think that he won't have much of a hard time with the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Bills do have a good cornerback, and they have some good players. So I don't think it's going to be like, the Rams utterly destroying the Bills defense, but they're going to give up plays. So, and I think I can say the same thing about the Rams defense. Being that the Bills just have so many weapons, and I mean the Rams do too.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
I think the Bills offense will just be a little bit more dynamic.
Mhm.
So, we'll see. So we're both starting Stafford. I think that's an easy pick. Cooper Cup,
All right, yeah.
start,
Mhm.
obviously. Hey, like,
Yeah.
you start your
Every day.
studs. Start your studs.
Yeah,
You drafted him, you
yeah,
drafted him in the first round. Start him. Not
yeah.
very hard decision there. All right, Allen Robinson.
Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna start him because I've heard that Van Jefferson is kind of a game time decision. He might play. He might play. Even if he does play, I don't know if he'll have a huge role. I think that the Rams will attempt to run the ball, but I don't think they'll have much success. So I think eventually, and then defenses will start trying to double cup. So I think that'll leave Allen Robinson with some opportunity. And I'm excited to see Allen Robinson in like a big time game. I want to see how it's possible that he elevates his game now that he's on a big time uh, game. So yeah, start.
Okay, yeah, I'm also going to start Allen Robinson. I think he just kind of quit on the Bears. It doesn't necessarily say too much that's great about a player because you don't like seeing players quit. But I don't think it was skill so much as he just didn't want to give it his all for a team that was not giving him their all, to be honest.
Yeah,
And also just having a bad quarterback and all these other things. So, and he's not the number one guy in the Rams, so I think that helps ease the burden on him a little bit. Um, I'm looking for A Rob to be kind of that slot guy, or the middle of the field guy. Like, we'll see what happens, but I think he'll be fantasy relevant for sure. So Van Jefferson, yeah, I'm sitting. In case anybody is wondering, I'm pretty sure you are, given your comments. I don't plan on starting him this week. Obviously, I'm going to start the kicker. Like, I don't have any problem with starting the Rams kicker.
yeah.
Tyler Higbee at tight end. How do you feel about him?
Um, he's definitely kind of like a on the bubble starter set guy.
Hmm.
Like I think, yeah, I think he was very inconsistent. Like there were some games where he just took over games, and then there are some games where he just isn't even a part of the offense.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess I would start him if he's your number one tight end. I think he'll do enough. But if you have a better opportunity, I would sit him.
Yeah. So I think I would start him, being anything after like, tight end six or whatever, you just kind of have that fall
Yeah,
off on the cliff.
That guy.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing. He's on a high-powered offense with a lot of weapons. So while that's not going to give him a whole lot of targets, defensive pressure is not going to be on him. You can still probably see
Mhm.
him get. I could see him getting a touchdown. I definitely think he's
Yeah.
a touchdown or bust kind of guy. Otherwise, like 3, 4 catches probably for 40 yards. So I mean, at this
Yeah.
point, if you get
Yeah.
seven or 8 points, which I think he's projected for 8.8, if you get 8 points, you're probably going to be just happy. You're not going to be
Yeah.
like ecstatic about it, but like it's points. And
Yeah.
at the point that you had to take this tight end, I mean, you don't really have a choice. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll go ahead and do Cam Akers next.
Sit. Yeah. I don't
Ooh, shit.
like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't like
I
you
did
don't.
not. I didn't draft any Rams running back in any league. I think that the O line is is awful. I think that the Rams again will attempt to run the ball, but I think that there's not going to be much success. Again, I mean, I think Akers is like a super talented back, and so is Henderson, the backup. But I mean, again, if it's very possible the way defenses might be playing the run so much that Akers might have some nice holes. It's more an indictment on the O line. I just had to see what they're doing because like there's so many new pieces that I don't know how it's all going to work out.
Yeah. So and this is one of those things where I think I could be utterly wrong, but for the price tag you're paying for Cam Akers, you're probably starting him. Hopefully he's not your running back one. I don't like
Mm-hmm.
him this week. Um, I feel like after last year and him having injury issues in the preseason and all this other stuff, I'm cautious about playing him. So if you can play him, or if you're in a position where you don't have to play him, maybe sit him this week, right?
Yeah,
But if you do play him, look, I mean, as long as he doesn't get hurt, he might get you 10 points. If he gets
yeah,
if he gets you a touchdown, well then you're automatically ecstatic. Like because
yeah.
he'll probably end up with like 14, 15 points, and that's great. That's fine. But I feel like this week it may get to a point where we might not see much from him unless they get a lot of goal line work, right?
Mm-hmm.
That being said, like Devery Henderson, I kind of feel the same way. I think he could be a good PPR guy this week. I
Mm-hmm.
also think he might get like a random touchdown near the end zone and hawk something away from Cam Akers. I don't
Yeah.
think they're going to work both of these, like either one of these guys to 20 touches, like 20, 25 runs or whatever touches.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I think it's going to be a split backfield. They're going to mitigate a heavy workload week one, most likely, is what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just kind of how I feel about it. I think that's about it. I mean, unless you want, we did kicker. I guess we could do defense. Um, but I don't have a problem starting the Rams
But
defense, but this is gonna be one of those games where like if the Rams defense scores you 4 points, you'll probably be happy,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, because I mean, I could see a sack happening. Like, I could see an
Oh yeah,
interception. I don't
yeah.
quite think I'm going to see a pick six. Um, so like, I would try to avoid this defense just in hopes of finding a different game where I don't see them being a high scoring game. Which like,
Yeah.
I mean, what you had the over under at like what 80
Yeah,
points?
yeah, 80 points. Yeah,
Yeah, I would take the under on that, but I do think there's a realm where like 65 points, 70 points is right. And if that's right, I don't think either one of these defenses are gonna, unless they get a pick six or a touchdown somehow. I just don't see
yeah.
them scoring a bunch. So let's go ahead and move on to the Bills. We'll start with Josh Allen, obviously.
Yeah. Start every
Start
time. Start.
start every time. Start him like just he's gonna do good. Like he might throw an interception this game. He might throw 2 interceptions this game, and he'll probably still be a top five scoring quarterback this week. So it is what it is. We'll go with another easy one. Stephon Diggs,
Start. Yeah, definitely start.
start. He's a stud
Yeah,
muffin.
yeah.
All right. Gabriel Davis,
I mean, if he's your like your flex, that's an a very nice pick. I was surprised. So start automatically. I was surprised that he hasn't been getting much love in the drafts that I have been doing, I've been able to get him consistently like as like a bench piece,
Yeah,
and I think that he could be one of the best second options fantasy wise in the league.
yeah. I really like him, and I think with the Bills losing some players, Cole Beasley, another
Mm.
guy like Isaiah McKenzie might be out. Is he back? Let's see. Um,
I
so he was a
think
full.
it
So
was a
he's a full participant. So
yeah,
he's gonna
and I said
play.
it was a yeah.
Yeah. I don't really like Jamison Crowder very much. I know some people are high on him, but I'm just not
He was
buying.
yeah.
I
Like
think
his first few years, yeah,
yeah, I don't
but
care for
now
him. Right.
it's kind
I think
yeah.
it's Stephon Diggs, and then I think Gabriel Davis is their number two, and I think he's going to get
So
that
I'd say
PPR work.
I think that a sleeper, uh, Dawson Knox
Oh yeah,
is
I was about to say him.
real good. Yeah, yeah. I
So
think he's a tight end that most don't think about. But I think
he's a
that he
start
has
for
very
me.
like yeah, and he's also like a very boom and bust player. Like he can have some big games and sometimes he doesn't show up at all. But yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I'm also going to start him. I'll start their kicker. High scoring
Mm-hmm.
offense. Start kickers. It's not rocket
Yeah,
science. Again,
yeah,
Bills defense. Like I'm not gonna not start them, but I'm gonna just be cautious about starting them.
yeah.
Because I think they're
There
the
has to be
situation. Yeah.
there has to be better matchups.
Yes.
Than
And that's my
than
thing.
those.
I think there will be better matchups. Exactly that.
Yeah.
All right. Devin Singletary.
So it's funny because like I actually um have drafted uh James Cook a lot because I think that he's going to end up being like the main back on this team. But starting week one, yeah, I'm gonna start him. I think the Rams will be very focused on Josh Allen's escapability and his running. That I think that Singletary might have the inside lane a bit more than he usually does. And the Bills O line is very good. So I think
Yeah.
he's a good, he's not a star back, but I think he's a good, second back on your
Yeah.
team.
RB2 flex option. I'm not against it. If you have a better option, I would start the better option.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's week one. We don't really know. Maybe Cook will be better later. I agree with that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but we will see. So for now,
Yes.
yeah, I'll start him. So that seems to be about all of the fantasy relevant people. So we're not going to get to the dregs of the team.
Mm-hmm.
So all right,
How do you feel about their backup safety?
who's their backup safety? What?
Oh no, I was just joking. I was saying like that's how you know in depth,
Oh yeah, yeah, I got
like
you.
a joke. Like yeah,
So anyway, um, all right, that's pretty much it for the Rams and Bills. That's a game that I'm going to stay up late for and be tired at work in the next morning for because it's going to be really,
yeah,
really good. And it's week
yeah.
one. So, is it Thursday night games that play on Amazon or is it Monday night games?
So it is Thursday night games, but this one is on NBC.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be playing on like local
Yeah,
television. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fine. So watch it on NBC. I do have Amazon, so hopefully I can catch a lot of Thursday night games.
Hmm.
Um, one day the NFL will not just cater to like TV people and just make it to where I can just pay to watch the games in real time without
Yeah.
having to buy some kind of dish service or
Hmm.
like even the NFL pass is just ridiculous. Like no, I'm not paying to watch local games I should already be able to watch. Like I'm not paying to watch games after they're over. Like I'm not doing that.
Oh,
Sorry.
honestly, the only reason why I had uh, cable these days is only for sports.
Well, I don't have cable,
Everything else is like
so
streaming. Oh,
yeah, yeah. Don't have cable. That's why I'm complaining because I'm just like I'm not paying
yeah.
for it. So
No,
I'm
it's
just
so
not.
expensive.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. Like just to watch football. No, I'm good.
yeah,
Like I'll
yeah,
I'll find a stream or I'll just watch the score.
yeah.
So all right. Next game. My hometown Saints versus the Falcons. And I have obviously the Saints winning. The Falcons are just a garbage team. Now it is a division team, rivalry,
Mhm.
and I get that, but I think the Falcons are just terrible. And if the Saints lose to the
Mhm.
Falcons, you will never see my face here again. It's kind of how I feel about it right now.
Is is this it at the Saints or at Falcons?
I can't remember. I think it's in Atlanta.
Because
Well, I'm gonna find out.
with the Saints, yeah, with the Saints, that's a big deal. At home
Not
they are.
yeah. I mean, not as much anymore. I don't think.
Mhm.
Because I've seen so they're in Atlanta.
Okay.
Um, wait, hold on. Let's see. It says nope, Mercedes. Well, no. It is Atlanta. So the reason I got confused was because
They
the
switched the.
yeah the Saints Superdome used to be the Mercedes Benz Dome.
Yeah,
Now
and
it's now
now
it's
the
this
Falcons.
now the Falcons have Mercedes Benz. So like I had to do a double take. I'm like, no, wait, hold on. No, it's it's
Yeah.
it's in Atlanta. And look, I get what you're saying. I do think the Saints can be hotter at home. Um,
Mhm.
I think that was, but I've also seen the Saints beat like the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I've seen them beat the Packers in Green Bay, like when they were
Mhm.
good playoff teams, and the Saints
Yeah,
were 8-8, or
yeah.
7-9. So like, I think in this situation, the Saints team is just so much better.
Hmm.
Like I'm not gonna say that the Falcons will definitely lose, but I'm gonna say like I'll put $100 down saying the Saints will win like right now, and Vegas will give
Yeah,
me a crappy bet because the odds are in their favor.
yeah.
So
Um, I would say that I think that this definitely has the chance to be a tight game. Just because the Saints play great defense. It's possible that they cause a bunch of turnovers. But what I've seen from the Falcons offense is actually pretty impressive. Just from the whole, it's hard to know what they're doing from Mariota to Pitts to Patterson. They're doing a bunch of like motion option plays, a bunch of different things, and it'll be interesting to see. I always felt like Mariota got a raw deal. Like he struggled bad in Tennessee, I got that, but then he was playing very good in Oakland as the backup at times. And so far with the Falcons in the preseason, I feel like he was, solid. So obviously the Saints are the better team. Their defense is great. I expect the offense to be good. Um, but it seems that the NFC South is just always like there's never a big beatdown either. Like it seems
Saints by
there's
20. Saints by 20. I call it right now.
Saints
Saints by
by
20.
100 and
I,
Saints
I'm
by
just gonna say by 20.
57.
Saints by 20. Look. I do think Marcus Mariota is a solid quarterback. I do not think he is a great
Yeah,
quarterback or even necessarily a really good quarterback. He's just
no, yeah,
an okay quarterback, and
good,
I think
yeah,
that'll be better than what the Falcons had last year.
yeah,
So I can see it happening, but I just think that Saints defense is way too good for Atlanta
mm,
to really put up a major fight. But hey, look, like I
yeah,
said, it's week
and
one. We will see.
yeah. The thing that if the Falcons even had like a decent defense, I would like put down like what I think it'll be a good game, but like I don't even know what the Falcons defense
If
is
if
at this
they
point.
had a
So
decent defense, I would agree with you, and I would even
yeah,
like agree that it would be a lot closer than what I'm saying. But
yeah,
I don't think they have a good defense. I don't think their offense is going to
no,
be amazing either. I think they're going to make some
no,
splash plays,
it'll be
but I think
solid. Yeah,
I think the Saints defense is strong, and I think
yeah,
they can handle whatever the Falcons bring their way.
mm,
So, and
okay,
they're probably going to get some turnovers, is what I'm
yeah.
also going to say. So,
Saints for the dub.
yep, thanks for the dub. So, we'll move on to our next game, your hometown, 49ers versus the Bears.
I'll take the Bears to win this one. Yeah, I definitely, they are 6.5 point favorites, and they're the road team. I guess I'm just maybe I don't know if it's humble or whatever, but I just don't ever like being the favorites. Like I'm just like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I think that the Niners can run the ball down the throats a bit. And I think our defense will do enough to keep them at bay. But like Fields, he can do some like insane stuff. Like he's like a diet Lamar Jackson at times where he can just like run around and just do like pull out amazing plays. I like Darnell Mooney, the receiver for the Bears. I'm super high on Cole Komet on the Bears. That being
Hmm.
said, 63-7 for now.
I mean, look, man. I'll say it just like I said it. The 49ers win by like 20. Like I just
Yeah,
don't. I think Vegas has them winning by like it's like plus
six and a half.
is it 6.5? Really?
Yeah,
It must be another game I was looking at then. That's still high. 6.5 is pretty high.
especially for being on the road.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The 49ers are just we've already fluffed them up enough. Like they're good. They got a great
yeah,
defense. They're gonna have a good running game. They're gonna have some good pass catchers. The Bears O line
mhm,
is just garbage, right? And I really like David
yeah,
Montgomery,
yeah.
but I think that O line is not gonna protect him. I'm curious to see what Justin Field looks like. I
Mhm,
don't think this is the defense to show me. I don't think
yeah.
this is the week
I'm
that
yeah.
he's
I'd
gonna
say
like pull magic out of his hat.
yeah.
You know.
Like I'd say the only thing that stops me from going full in is we just don't know what Lance we're gonna get. Like if Lance is good and even like better than Jimmy, like we're gonna be smacking some teams. But
Yeah.
if he struggles, that leaves teams gives teams a bigger window to do some things.
Sure, sure. And,
Yeah,
I get that. Like, the Bears have always had at least a respectable defense, but
yeah,
I'm not too high on them this year.
yeah,
I think the Bears are probably angling for a top five pick in the draft this coming year. That's
yeah.
kind of how I
And
see
like
it.
I don't know if you've heard, but there's been a lot of say bulletin material that the Bears have shot towards the Niners. Darnell Mooney said that this is a revenge game for Fields, and that he's mad that we didn't take him with the third overall pick.
I just,
And
I
yeah,
just, I don't really like that headline because it's like, so you're on the Bears and you're mad because you're on the Bears, so you're gonna play harder on the Bears because the 49ers didn't draft you. Like, look, I get look, you got a little chippy, a little chip on your shoulder.
yeah,
Okay, that's cool, but like all that tells me is that you're mad about being on the team that you're on. And if I'm a
yeah,
Bears player and my quarterback says something like that, I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like,
yeah.
why don't
And
you
then
like us?
yeah, and then now that the thing that you can hope for is that you can catch the Niners off guard and they could be coasting, but now they see this everywhere. Like, oh, okay, so now it's a game where they want to show that they're not the bad team, whatever. So I just think that kind of woke up the Niners, especially the defense. Like the Niners defense is very like it's good, but like when they have like a point to prove, they play with like an extra level. So it'll be interesting.
Sure, sure, but look, 49ers by 20. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm not playing that game. Like the Bears aren't the team, bro. I'm just saying it right
yeah.
now. The Bears aren't that team. So, all right, next matchup is the Bengals versus the Steelers, and I have the Bengals winning this game. So, I think the Bengals offense is just dynamically better with Joe Burrow. I have respect for the Steelers defense. I have respect for the Steelers organization. Tomlin is a beast of a head coach. I'm not feeling great about that offense, about the quarterback. Maybe they'll pull out the win, maybe they'll prove me wrong. That's fine. Like I'm fine with that. But I just had the Bengals winning. I think the Bengals offense could be better. I think the Bengals are defense is actually, they showed that they improved a good bit last year, and I think they're going to carry that forward. I think it could be a close game. This is one of my star games. So like there's a world where I can see the Steelers winning this game, but I gotta pick the Bengals for just having the overall better offense. So I'm not too big of a fan of Trubisky.
Yeah, I feel like one of the biggest additions last year was Hendrickson from the Saints
Yep.
to the Bengals. Like that, he got he had like a 9 game sack streak or something like that. And I think that the Bengals defense is definitely underrated. But TJ Watt is obviously a beast. The Steelers defense is great. If I This is definitely uh, the first hard game. Do you know if this game is at Pittsburgh or Cincinnati?
I can find out.
Yeah, I don't know. I should be looking this up, but I don't ever. Like, I'm still not even in full football mode. I'm like, Thursday. No, that's in Los
Pittsburgh
Angeles.
at Cincinnati. So they'll
Okay,
be
so
yeah.
that's a bit of a difference. I mean, the Bengals offense is like insane. Obviously stacked everywhere. I feel like this game will definitely come down to who can control the line of scrimmage the best. If the Steelers can run the ball, they can definitely have a solid game. But the Bengals upgraded their O line so much, um, and I love AFC North football. It's just hard hitting and
hmm This look
smash
this
mouth.
this could be a fight kind of game.
Yeah,
And look,
17.
Vegas has the Bengals favored by 6.5.
That's interesting.
Surprisingly,
That's a big yeah.
I just, I mean, Mitch Trubisky, how much can you trust him?
Yeah.
I guess is a question. You know, look, I can see, like I said, this is one of my star games. I can see the Steelers win this. Like you just said, division game. Um, you know, running the ball, like, because I think both teams are going to want to run the ball. It could slow the game down, and if that happens, it could be anybody's game.
Yeah.
So we'll.
That's yeah. I'm gonna pick the Bengals just because I think they have a better chance of hitting that big deep ball
Oh
pass,
yeah,
and so. But I think I want to say I feel like people are sleeping on old Mitchell. Like he was not bad on Chicago. Like he was used so shitty. Like that coach Nagy was awful. Like Mitchell took the Bears to the postseason, and he had a solid defense, a good running game, some nice targets. But like I saw, like I forget the exact numbers, but they showed like his 3 years in Chicago ranked up like a top 10 quarterback, and like
yeah.
I feel like he had super raw uh, deal, and obviously he had a super short leash because Pickett had a great preseason. He almost well actually I don't think that they've announced the start of it yet. So
Look, man,
uh,
either way, I don't think it's going to be a huge difference this year.
mm,
I don't.
mm,
Trubisky's not.
I
Again, Trubisky's one of those mediocre quarterbacks who lean more towards
yeah,
the I would rather not have him than have him. But
yeah.
when you're stuck without a quarterback, you take a veteran guy. So
I gotta
Pickett
say
is
like
a rookie. So
uh, it's the preseason, so you'll never know where you're gonna get. But just what you saw, like Pickett looked damn good, like accurate, on time,
oh yeah, well look, I
mobile.
think he's going to be a future like really good quarterback. Like
Yeah,
but it's his rookie year.
yeah,
There
and
aren't many rookie quarterbacks that are going to show out their rookie year. It's just you
yeah.
don't see it happen very often. So
Yeah. Also, the Steelers have a very underrated receiving core. Like, what do you know? Dante Johnson, uh, Claypool, but then look out for Pickens. He was a beast in college, but he always had injuries, so he dropped down in the
yeah,
draft.
yeah.
But if he's healthy, he could be a monster. So, anyways, Bengals win,
Yeah,
21
yeah,
7.
yeah. Oh well, hey, look, there you go.
Yeah.
So, next matchup is the Eagles versus the Lions. And I have the Eagles winning, and there is no star next to this game. I
Mm,
just Detroit is going to have to prove to me that they're good enough because I believe the Eagles are at least better than the Lions. I think the Eagles defense is going to be solid, if not good. Um, I think it's Jalen's, second year. Is it his second year or third year? It's his second year.
Second year.
It's his third year?
Second year.
Second year. Okay, so I was right. All right. It's his second year. They got AJ Brown. Uh, they still have all their other weapons. Devontae Smith. What's their tight end's name? Why can't I remember their tight end's name?
Rear moose or something like that. Rear moose. Rear moose.
No, the Eagles tight end, not the
Oh,
Steelers tight end.
oh,
Goddard. Goddard. There we go.
Goddard. Yeah.
Spacing out. Goddard. I mean, I kind of probably respect their run game a little bit, but I think that has more to do with Jalen being on the field than anything else.
Yeah.
Um, I just think they're gonna overload the Lions defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't quite trust the Lions offense to be amazing. So I think it's a kind of a lopsided game. Even though Vegas does have it being somewhat close, they favor the Eagles by 4. So
Mm-hmm. All right. I definitely have it as a. This is going to be a field goal game. The Lions are building something special. Like last year, they lost 7 games by less than a field goal. So that like, and that coach Campbell, like he's just a he is what the Lions are. Like they fight. They like they will not give up until that last second. Um, and I love that they've built the offensive line and the defensive line to really control that line of scrimmage.
yeah,
Um, that being said, Goff, I'm actually a bigger fan than most people on Goff. I think he's good, but you don't ever know what you're going to get from him. So I have it being a tight game, but I'm going to lean towards the Eagles just because I feel like Hurts will put a hurting on the line. No, but I just think that they can make a few more plays. But it is in Detroit, so I think that does give the Lions a bit more of an advantage. But yeah, I think the if the Eagles don't win this game, it'll make me look at them more as pretenders than contenders because this is a
yes,
game that you should win.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would be upset if they lost it. Is what I'm
Yeah,
going to say. It would be an upset. It would be
yeah,
an upset. So, which I'd be perfectly fine with. I'm not saying like
yeah.
I want to be happy to see it. I'm just saying like it would be upsetting because it would be an upset. So anyway,
Yeah.
on to our next game, the Patriots versus the Dolphins. Um, hard decision, hard decision for me. But I did choose the Dolphins to win, and this is one of my star games. So, you go ahead and say what you got to say.
Well, I would say that I feel like people are sleeping on the Dolphins a bit in terms of like, I understand that Tua is still a question mark, but I don't know. I feel like the Dolphins are just a much better team on paper. Like it's not really close. Like they have weapons everywhere on the offensive side of the ball. They have a good offensive line. They have multiple starting caliber backs. Like if Tua can just be solid, which I think he was a lot of the time last year, healthy, that's when he's due. And the Dolphins defense also I feel like very slept on. Like they have a lot of impact guys
Yes, they do.
at every unit. And the only reason why I don't think it's going to be a blowout is because I don't ever doubt Bill Belichick. I mean,
Yep.
he's the goat for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, but
Vegas has the Dolphins favored by 3.5. Um, this is one of my star games. I agree with everything you said with the Dolphins. That's why I picked the Dolphins. I think Tua is going to be this offense is going to be fast. I think they're gonna hit with some lightning plays, and that's just kind of how they're going to run it. Um, and I think they have enough weapons to at least leave the Patriots defense kind of reeling a little bit. But this is Bill Belichick. This is a Patriots defense that he has catered to. It could be a really good defense, right? I actually like Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones will be an elite quarterback someday, but I do think he could be a Derek Carr type, right? Like I
They're
think
good. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think he's going to be a pretty good quarterback when it's all said and done. Last year he looked solid, and he also got better as the season progressed. A little bit more efficient. And I think year two, I think he can get a little bit better still. I just think that ceiling's not as high.
Um,
Good.
the only thing that worries me, again, I don't know. I guess it depends on how much stock you put in training camp and preseason, but a lot of reports are Mac was getting destroyed by the Patriots defense.
Hmm.
Again, some people take that seriously. I'll say I don't take it that seriously because, for example, Lance threw more interceptions than touchdowns in camp. But it's like, hey, the Patriots defense is great, the Niners defense is great, and also people don't know that the defense gets a scripted book and it tells you what plays the offense are going to run.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly fair game.
Yeah.
But I'm just interested because Mac Jones got better, but then the last 3 games he threw like 7 interceptions and 1 touchdown. They lost to Jacksonville, and then they got blown out by Buffalo. So I would just want to see what
Yeah.
he's like and
Yeah,
what they're like.
and all those reasons are why I'm just kind of sitting here going like I think he'll be better, but I just don't think it's gonna be good enough to beat the Dolphins. Not week one. Now,
Yeah,
maybe if they have a rematch later in this year, I haven't looked at their
yeah,
schedule yet, but if they do, it could be different, but we'll see.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, they're in the same
well, no,
division, yeah, so
I
that's
know
like a
they're gonna.
plus.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know they have another game. I'm not sure what week it is what I'm saying.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
also, this game will be in Miami, and it'll still be very hot. So I think that gives the
true.
Dolphins a bit of an advantage.
Yep.
And then later in the year, it'll be a colder game in Foxborough. So I think that gives the Patriots
Yeah.
a.
Yeah. I could agree with that for sure.
So, so yeah, I think the Dolphins should win, and but yeah, it'll be a fun game to watch. My
Oh,
best
for sure.
friend is a Patriots fan,
Hmm.
so we're gonna have a little bit of a beef, and
Hey, there you go. Good.
I'm gonna tag Nicholas Wilson in this video on Facebook and tell him.
That's
But
right. That's right. All right.
yeah.
Let's move on to our next game. The Ravens versus the Jets. Las Vegas has the Ravens favored by 7, which is one of the higher margins since we started going over these games. So,
This is my. I'm actually in this pool where it's called like a losers pool, where like you pick one team that you think is definitely gonna lose every week,
mhm.
and then you're not able to pick them again. And so it was
Ah,
between it was between Bears or Jets, and I mean I think both are safe bets, but I just think Baltimore is gonna run down the
yes, yes.
Jets'
I
throat.
think I think this game is going to be ugly, and I think
Yeah,
the Ravens are going to be monstrous.
yeah.
So I think like I was joking about like the win by 20 points earlier. I mean, kind of joking, kind of not, but like I'm not joking here. Like
This,
I
yeah,
expect the
this is
Ravens
bad.
to win by 20 points.
Yeah,
So I think we might see Lamar Jackson sit out in the fourth quarter. Like I think that's a possibility.
yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm looking at. Now I might watch this game. I'm gonna try to watch all the games, which I won't be able to, but like I'll
Oh
try
yeah,
to keep up with all the games. Obviously, it's week one.
yeah.
Um, but anyway, yeah, I think it's gonna be a slaughter. So um, let's go ahead and move on to our next game: Jaguars versus the Commanders, and Las Vegas favors the Commanders by 2.5. I am calling the Jaguars to win this game in an upset. Well, not in an upset, but just me picking the Jaguars is an upset. Uh, um,
We
now I do have a star next to this
can
game.
we not watch this game? Oh, a star. Oh, a
I
star.
I probably won't watch this game. But that being said, my rationale is I think we're gonna see a more confident Trevor Lawrence. I think Doug Peterson um is gonna have the coaching effect that the Jaguars need. Um, I think Travis Etienne can definitely make a difference. I think some of the players that they've acquired in the offseason and some of the players they retained on offensively, they grabbed the wide receiver. I forget his name. Was it Christian Kirk?
Christian Kirk. Yeah,
Who might be a good wide receiver.
I'll
I,
say this. I think I know he's a good receiver. I think that he may be a great receiver,
yes.
but I think he's a solid number two guy. I think he could be a possible
Hmm.
number one guy.
Yes.
Um, this is hard. This is hard. This is
It,
hard.
it
I think
it
it's
it
two
is
kind
hard.
of equal teams.
Yep.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but great things from Wentz and Cam in preseason that they're very happy. And I think Wentz is still a very, very talented guy. I think he's,
Oh, sure.
if you rank talented quarterbacks, yeah, but his mental is the reason why sometimes he makes that stupid play.
Yep.
Yeah, this is definitely like a pick 'em. Um, is I was going to see, is this in our nation's capital, or let's see here.
Jacksonville at Washington. So FedEx
Okay,
Field.
so yeah, that's will I'm going to go full conspiracy. Will the NFL let the Washington Commanders lose on 9/11? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, this is definitely like a pick. Like, I hope that Lawrence can show off his skill set, because I've doubled down on him on most of my fantasy stuff. Like, he's
Yeah.
in my what they call dynasty leagues.
Yep.
I have him a lot in my dynasty leagues, and I'm hoping that he can show off his skills. And I definitely agree with the Doug Peterson thing, that he can get everybody going in the right direction. Their defense is still kind of all over the place. They have a decent defensive line. Um, I'm gonna go Commanders on this one.
Okay. Well, we will be at odds.
That is the
So
first game that we
yeah. Yeah.
disagree
That's
on.
good.
But again, it's so yeah, it's
I have a star, so like I'm willing to take
yeah,
the L on this matchup. Not that I think I will, but still.
yeah.
Browns versus Panthers. I have da 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 the Panthers winning. This is also a star matchup for me.
I really thought you were going to pick the Browns, because I definitely have the Panthers winning as well. I think that the league fans have it wrong on Baker. I don't understand this Baker hate. This Baker, he's garbage. I don't understand this whole, like, everybody's trying to push. Like, he was playing his heart out last year with basically a shoulder that was hanging off of his like
Yeah,
chest. Like
I
like
don't think he's
that was
garbage.
no, yeah.
I
I
don't think he's
think
garbage. I just don't think he's great either. Like
no. I think he's a
he's a mediocre quarterback.
very.
Like is what he is. His
I
ceiling
think
is
his
lower than
talent,
everybody than most people's.
yeah, but I think his talent, the way he slings the ball, and that he's mobile. I feel like his talent is above average, but his mental game, like how he reads defenses, is not that good.
Yeah.
So if he can kind of elevate that bit, I'm excited for him. The Panthers have offensive weapons everywhere.
So I think
But
go ahead.
oh, I was going to say, if McCaffrey plays at least 14 games, I actually have them as a wild card sleeper. I
Yeah.
think that they could, be in that range.
Yeah.
But so, and that defense is super good,
Hmm.
all that stuff. I
So
just, I just don't care about.
and that's kind of where I'm at. So Vegas has this game favoring the Panthers by 1.5 points. So which is
Wow.
probably one of the lowest point differentials
Yeah.
so far. Um,
Yeah.
I agree with everything you said. I think the Panthers are a really good fit for Baker Mayfield,
Yep.
right? I don't think they're very much different from the Browns, other than the fact that I think their wide receivers could definitely be better than what he had on the Browns. I think the defense overall can be better. Um, I mean, obviously, look, bro, I think I love the Browns running backs, both of them, right? Nick Chubb's probably the best pure runner in the league,
Yeah.
right? And then what's the other guy's name? I should know it. I used to draft him all the time. Uh,
Hunt.
Hunt, Kareem Hunt is also a really good running back who just catches a lot of passes mostly, right? But where the Browns needed two guys, the Panthers only need one. Christian
Yeah.
McCaffrey is going to dominate and destroy. And I think that Baker is good enough to utilize DJ Moore, utilize some of his other wide receivers, and make them not only fantasy relevant but just good on the field. He's going to take advantage of
Yeah.
it, that's why I see them winning. I don't even know who the backup quarterback is for the Browns, to be honest with you. Um,
Brissett.
Brissett. Okay, I think Jacoby Brissett's about to throw like two interceptions. Is what I
Yeah.
think is about to
He's
happen.
yeah. He's definitely he's either going to throw interceptions or he's going to be so cautious that he won't be throwing much.
Yes,
They might just
yes.
run the
Now
ball, run the ball, run the ball.
that's what they're gonna do. And look, this is one of my star games, right? I'm willing to concede that I might lose on this one.
Oh,
Um,
oh yeah,
but I think that, and I'm a Saints fan. I hate the Panthers. I do not want them to win, but I do think they're going to win this week. So, let's go ahead and move on
uh,
to. You got something else to say about them? Go ahead.
uh, I have a thought that I'm gonna talk about after we're done picking these games.
Okay. Well, let's move
Yeah,
on through because our time's starting to get limited. So,
yeah.
Colts versus Texans. I have the Colts winning. Not a star game.
Mm. Well. Oh yeah, the Colts winning to. Interesting. It's not a star game. I actually like what the Texans are doing. I love Lovie Smith. I like Stills a lot. I like Damian Pierce. I think their defense is pretty good. I everybody thinks otherwise, but I actually prefer Stingley over Sauce Gardner as the two top CBs who were drafted.
Yeah.
So I really like the Texans, and I think that they could win. Uh, I just don't know what Matt Ryan would get. Like, I think the Colts are super talented, and if they get a good Matt Ryan, like they could be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
But what we saw from Matt Ryan last year was kind of like, you know, deflated. But I get it just being in that situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's definitely better to lean with the better talented team and the
hmm
Colts.
So the Colts are favored by Vegas at 7 points. So that's a higher end margin. Look, I like what the Texans are doing too. I think they're piecing together a good team, especially after their last coach utterly just demolished that team in so
Yeah,
many ways, right? So they're making good moves. They're getting good people. I don't love Lovey Smith. I don't think he's a good coach. I really just don't think he's a good
mm,
head coach. He went coach in college and he did abysmal. Like
yeah,
his record in the NFL is not that good. Um, I look, I think defensively he's a good coach. I just don't think he's a great, like, not even a really good head coach. Um, I
so
hope to be wrong.
so
I would
my
like to see
only
the Texans be good, but
my only argument is that sometimes guys are just NFL coaches. Like he was a very good coach on the Bears. Like he led the Bears. That's the best the Bears have been, in the mid 2000s when they reached the Super Bowl and the Urlacher, like that defense was dominant. Um, you know, I I liked what they did there, and I think he's gonna try to implement the same on the Texans. It's like a hard hitting defense, a good running
yeah,
game, and then he went to Illinois, I believe it was, and it's just such a hard thing in college football when you don't have the money and the resources to build and to get the players that you want on scholarships or
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah. I get all that.
yeah.
I just
Uh,
he needs to
so
prove it.
yeah.
He needs to prove it to me.
Oh
It's
yeah,
that simple.
fair.
Like I'm not like the Colts have a decent coaching. Like they have a good defense, right? Their O line
Yeah,
isn't terrible as long as they're healthy. They have Jonathan Taylor, who's one of the best running backs in the league. They have Michael Pittman, who might be
oh
a
yeah.
top 10 wide receiver this year. Like I just the
The
Texans
Colts
have
are definitely the better team. Yeah,
yes, the Colts are a better team. They would literally have to piss this game away for the
yeah.
Texans to win,
My
and that's
boy,
why it's
my
not.
boy. Yeah, I was that my boy DeForest Buckner over there.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, let's
But I
let's.
just want to say, Stills is nice. Stills is still nice. That's
I'm
all I'm
not
gonna say.
saying he isn't. Like, look, bro. Look, Brandon Cooks all day, baby. I love Brandon
Yeah,
Cooks.
yeah,
It doesn't
yeah,
matter
yeah,
that they don't have a high end wide receiver on that team, and that
yeah.
it's gonna hurt them. So,
Mm,
Giants versus Titans. This is a star game, surprisingly. But I picked the Titans. Obviously, Vegas doesn't quite agree. I mean, they do agree, but like the point margin is kind of high. Vegas has them at 5.5 points to win. Um, did I surprise you? Did I shock and all you that it's a star game?
no, no, not at all.
Really?
I was gonna say actually, I have the Giants in this game also.
Okay. Well, look, I'm glad we disagree.
Yeah.
Look, I see good things happening with the Giants,
Hmm.
right? I, if Barkley's on that team, obviously, like you just the potential's there. And there's other things I've seen too. Some of their players are showing out. Like I think they could. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. I think they might struggle to make a 9-8 record. I think they'll be in the negatives. But that being
Yeah.
said, like, I can see a point where the Titans drop off. Maybe Henry's not as good this week one game after his
Hmm.
foot surgery or whatever. Maybe the fact that they don't have AJ Brown anymore and it's Robert Woods time, which I love Robert Woods. I think he's gonna be a great wide
Yeah.
receiver this year in fantasy and just overall for the team. But like it's just a little more one dimensional than it was, right? It's you're gonna hope Derrick Henry can pound the ball because if they can't, I love Robert Woods, but I just don't think, if defenses want to double cover him, he's not going to do much for you, right?
Yeah.
And I could, for those reasons, I can see the Giants potentially winning, but I think, the 5.5 points is probably where I'm at with the Titans. I agree with
Hmm.
Vegas on this line. Um, I trust that Henry's just going to be Henry. And if that's the case, I don't think the Giants are going to be able to stop them.
Yeah. So obviously, Derrick Henry is a big problem, and it's easier said than done. But I think that if the Giants can stack the box against Henry and just slow him down from having those big, crazy, like he's gonna get hits. But if you can stop him from having that big 70-yard touchdown run, and then just kind of play zone, like the Titans without AJ Brown just don't scare anybody. Like hey, Robert Woods is nice, but he's 35. He's aging. Like that's a low level number one receiver. You know,
Yeah.
um, uh,
He's more of an upper wide receiver too.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
um, if we're going by like fantasy, by
yeah, yeah.
fantasy standards, I would have Robert Woods as like a
A
middle
flex.
wide receiver two, low end wide receiver two,
Yeah,
and just because he's going to be the number one, and I think he's going to see the targets, and you're going to love the fact that he sees the targets, but is he
yeah,
going to be efficient? Is he going to be able to handle defensive coverage? And when you ask me that, I can't quite guarantee it, right? He's
yeah,
not a big wide receiver. Like he will, if anything, they're going to throw him the ball near the line of scrimmage and just let him
yeah.
get a bunch of. Also, he's
Uh,
he's 30. He's not 35. He's 30. Let's put some
oh,
respect
it's
on
30.
his name.
Okay, okay,
He's
okay.
not
I thought it was older than
35,
that.
but 30
Okay, I thought
is
it was
older
older.
for a wide receiver,
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
um,
I'll say, and then they just lost Harold Landry for the year. He
mhm,
tore his ACL. So the Titans defense is solid, but like I feel like Barkley, if healthy, is still a very good back.
yes,
Um, and I just wonder where Tannehill's head is at. He had a very bad playoff game last year that he even admitted publicly, like it took him a long time to get over. And
Yeah,
now Malik Willis has a arguably the best preseason of any rookie, and everybody's like, "Oh, this guy's a star." And so, I'm just wondering how he's gonna
there
how he's gonna.
we are. I don't think we're gonna see Malik Willis this year as a starter unless Tannehill goes
I
down.
I think that if Tannehill struggles, I could see Malik Willis, get in there pretty
I
quick.
could see it, but I think
I'm not.
Tannehill is better than people think. I'll put it to you this way: when Malik Willis is the QB1, either the Titans are going to sign Tannehill for a lot of money to be a backup quarterback,
Yeah,
or Tannehill will not spend long until he is on another team as a starting quarterback.
yeah,
Right? He's not amazingly good, but he is a good quarterback,
he's solid,
and his
solid, yeah,
rushing
solid.
his rushing ability gives him an edge over other quarterbacks.
Yeah, yeah.
So
This isn't even like a who's better. It's a maybe he's run his course in Tennessee.
yes,
Like just like he got the fans were booing him last year in the playoffs. Like I said, it hurt his mental. I
yeah,
just wonder if
yeah.
maybe a fresh start.
It might just be a time for a change of scenery, right? And 100%
Yeah,
agree with that. Like, do I think it's going to happen this coming year? Maybe towards the end of the season. Like I said, I think you would have to see a string of losses and bad plays for it to happen. And I don't know. I don't think Tannehill is going to be that bad,
yeah.
right?
I feel like I'm pretty low on the Titans this year. I think unless Henry has like an MVP season, which is very possible, I don't have them making the playoffs.
Mhm.
So I'm interested to see. Just like I said, I don't even doubt Tannehill. I just want to know, or I'm just wondering where his head is at. Is he focused on 100%? Okay, let's beat the Giants, or is it a little bit? Okay, I'm looking over my shoulder.
We'll see, but also the looking over the shoulder puts a chip on people's shoulders, right?
Yeah,
When there's adversity there, some quarterbacks light it up, and we could definitely see that. So
ascend. Yeah.
yes, so we'll see what happens with that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next matchup, Packers versus Vikings. I have the Packers winning this game. Uh, Vegas has the odds are at 1.5, right? The game is in Minnesota. So, and this is a star game for me, right? Look, I ain't got nothing wrong with it with Aaron Rodgers. I love me some Aaron Jones. I like some AJ Dillon. I don't like the wide receivers. I don't care. Look,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers can say whatever he wants, and look, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think his wide receivers are going to make him very happy. I don't think Alan
Yeah.
Lazard is this amazing guy. I think you might see another Tunyon year where he gets 500 yards for 10 touchdowns. Um, Look, we've seen Rodgers without a star wide receiver before, and he was actually pretty good. Fantasy wise, he dropped a little bit, but his stats were good. They were winning games. So I don't doubt his ability. And then look, the Packers defense is good. The Packers
Mm,
defense is good. So I don't think
elite.
they are, yeah, I would argue they are top five this year for
Mm,
sure. Last year probably
absolutely.
too. Um, I don't see, I think the Packers, and I like their head coach, their new head coach. I like him too. Just want to get that out there. He's done some good things with that team. Um, I see a year where Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to throw the ball as much, right? They're gonna go more towards running the ball. They're gonna go more towards defensive heavy, and they'll use Rodgers to bail them out when they need to. Um, the only reason this is a star game because it is a division rival. It's the Vikings. It's in Minnesota. They play tough. The Vikings played them tough last year for a little while too. Like these things happen. And this Vikings team can be a good team. Their defense is still but I mean, you have Dalvin Cook, you have Justin Jefferson, you still have Adam Thielen there. They have another wide receiver. I forget his name, but he was pretty solid. And a tight end too. I want to say. But the point I like Kirk Cousins. I'm not gonna say he's elite, but he's more of a higher
Right.
tier quarterback than most,
Yeah.
right? So he's underneath the elite status, but he's above the average status, somewhere in that range. Um, And if their coach is not as terrible as the Vikings coach last year, I could see the Vikings throttling on offense and passing that ball and running
Mhm.
that ball and I want to see some offensive scheming. I want to see them take advantage of the players they have. But Packers defense is good,
Mhm.
right? We're gonna see one of those few matchups of a top tier cornerback versus a top tier wide receiver
Oh yeah,
in this game,
head to
and
head.
and and head to head, and I think it's gonna be beautiful, but it might not happen the way we want it to.
Mhm.
But anyway, Packers to win. How about you?
So okay, so I can talk now. I can talk
Sorry,
now. Okay,
sorry.
The Vikings are going to blow out the Green Bay of Packers of
Oh my
Wisconsin.
God.
Um, this is not going to be close. Okay, so first things first, I think it's a bad matchup. I actually love the Packers' two rookie receivers, Romeo Dubs and Dakota Watson, but it's just like they're hitting them early. As we saw last year, the Packers got blown out by the Saints last year, week one. Nobody saw that happening. And I think it's going to happen again this year. The Packers start slow. I think they have to figure some things out. I think that offense is a mess. They're going to try to run the ball. And I think that the Vikings D line is elite. They have arguably the best uh, pair of pass rushing edges in the game. They have solid linebackers. The secondary, I think, is upgraded. I don't know if it's good or great, but I think it's better than last year. And that offense is gonna go insane. I think that they're gonna be the best offense in the league this year. Kevin O'Connell is from the Rams, so he's gonna really take that offense another step. I think that uh, Cousins is going to have his best year ever. Uh, we talked about it before. I think that Justin Jefferson is going to win Offensive Player of the Year. Um, I'm full on the Vikings. I think that they're going to have a fantastic year, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Vikings over the
Okay, well, I'm glad we disagree. Let's see what happens.
Packers. Yeah,
Okay, next one. Chiefs versus Cardinals. I'll let you go first.
the little birdie is gonna catch a spear through the head. Oh yeah, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're the better team. They're one of the best teams in football. I think that Arizona is talented, but without Hopkins, I just don't think that they have enough firepower to stay, toe to toe with Kansas City. And so yeah, Kansas City.
Yeah, I have the Chiefs winning. This is not a star game. So,
No.
look, I don't think look, it sucks losing Tyreek Hill, but I think Patrick Mahomes is going to do Patrick Mahomes things, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't think the Cardinals are going to be able to keep up. So,
Yep. Agreed.
next one is Raiders versus Chargers, and I picked the Chargers, but this is a star game.
Mm-hmm.
So you go ahead and say what you got to say, then we'll
Uh,
discuss.
yeah, I'll be taking the Raiders. I think that they are gonna put on a show for the whole NFL to see. I think that offense is gonna go crazy. Um, I think that this game, much like the opening game, is gonna be a shootout. I think they're gonna go back and forth. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a star game. This game could go either way, but I have the Raiders just
So it's
barely.
it's Raiders at Chargers.
Okay.
So Chargers home
The
game.
I'll say that the city of Los Angeles has much more of a Raiders fan base than it does Chargers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it might be 50-50 at best. And
hmm
so I think it'll be a neutral game.
hmm
Um,
All right. So Vegas has the Chargers favored by 3. Um, look, I think this is going to be a shootout game too. I really do. I think the Chargers have the edge with the run game. I think the pass game will be about the same. Um,
Yeah,
Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, even Parnell might be a solid tight end. But you have Austin Eckler, man. It's hard to, you can't really. The Raiders don't even like their running back. They're not even signing them
mm,
after this year. Like, so
yeah,
it's one of those things. I think Herbert's a better quarterback than Carr. I really do. That being said, Devontae Adams is probably the best wide receiver on the field.
yeah.
Darren Waller is the best tight end on the field. Um,
Hmm.
you know, I picked the Chiefs. The Chiefs. I picked the Chargers simply. It's a home game. I get what you're saying, but I think it's a home game. I think Herbert's the better quarterback. And while I do like the Raiders defense, and I think they're going to surprise people this year, I think the Chargers defense is pretty solid too. It's a close one, man. This is a star game for me, obviously.
Yeah,
I wanted to pick the Raiders. I really did want to pick the Raiders. Like I'm rooting for them this year. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am. Um,
yeah.
but that being said, like I just the way I value things, it is the Chargers. So we'll see.
The only thing that scares me, the only thing that scares me, and I feel could blow this game open is Mac and Bosa versus the Raiders O line. That
Hmm.
is definitely a concern. It don't matter if you have Devontae Adams and Waller if you don't have any time to throw the ball.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see how they're going to scheme it up. So if they can give Carr enough time, I expect some sacks. But as long as it's not like an all day, harassment, I think that the Raiders have a good chance. But that does scare me a bit. But
Yeah.
hey, shit, the uh, Raiders have Max Crosby and Chandler Jones, so that ain't no
Yeah.
weak
Yeah.
duo
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. It's going to be a very interesting game, and I look forward
Yeah,
to it. It's probably one of the highlight games I have for week one that I want to see for sure.
yeah.
So we got two games left. So let's knock them out. Buccaneers versus Cowboys. I got the Bucks to win.
I got the Cowboys.
Okay. I'll make it short and sweet. Look, yeah, Tom Brady, the O line, we can say all that. I think he's gonna light it up. I think the Buccaneers defense is still pretty good. They have some obvious holes, but I don't know if the Cowboys defense can keep up. And I like Michael Parsons. I like Trayvon Diggs. But I worry that Trayvon Diggs will have regression because I think he will. Um, we will see. The Cowboys offense, I think they'll do fine, but I think the Buccaneers defense can handle them pretty well. This isn't a star game for me, to be honest with you. So
Wow.
I'm confident that the Buccaneers are going to win this game. I hope they lose. I hope they
Yeah,
lose. But
obviously, yeah. Um,
so
I'd say
Vegas has Tampa Bay favored by 2.5. So they have it as a close game.
yeah, I equally hate both these teams and their fan bases. And I just want to say that I feel like the Bucks offense might have some trouble keeping up with the Cowboys offense. So I think
That's
that they're going
that's
to
very
be,
possible. Yes.
yeah, I think that the O line isn't the end of the world, no, but I think it can definitely cause some issues. The Cowboys, I mean, Michael Parsons is a beast. Lawrence is a beast. I could see them really, like, again, if there was ever one thing that Brady could not handle, it's pressure. It really messes him up. Um, Goodwin is coming off an injury. Don't even know if he'll for sure play. They don't have Gronkowski. It's just Mike Evans and some good. They have some good pieces, but it's like only Mike Evans is the one for sure that you can count on. Everybody else is kind of like a moving piece. I like Fournette. That's nice, but I just think that Dak and CeeDee Lamb and that Dalton Schultz, Zeke, Pollard. I think that whole. I think it's going to be a big offensive showing. I think Cowboys are a bit still are a bit bitter from that last year's game, and
Yeah,
so yeah, Dallas.
that's
How about
fair.
them Cowboys?
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I do think that like there's a world where Julio Jones and Russell Gage could pick up slack, and Mike Evans
Mm-hmm.
is still on the field, and they still have their beast runner.
Yeah.
which I can't remember his name right now. Could you help me?
Fournette.
Fournette, there we go. Who can also catch and run the ball. So we'll see.
Mhm.
I think it might come down to the Cowboys being able to put pressure on Tom Brady,
Yeah.
and if they can, I think they can pull out the win. But I'm fine with disagreeing.
Yeah.
And last game, um, Broncos versus Seahawks, and this is not a star game. And I have the Broncos winning by 20, as I
Yeah.
like to say. Um, Vegas has Denver favored by 6.5. So, look, man, I prove to me that the Seahawks have a good team because right now I don't think they do. Right? I don't trust their run game, even though I think as long as their runners are healthy, I think it'd be a pretty solid run game. Geno Smith, it's Geno Smith. Um, DK
Mhm.
Metcalf, Lockett, I think they're great, but I don't know if Geno Smith can fully utilize them like he needs to. I don't trust the Seahawks defense, which people can say what they want, but like I know Pete Carroll likes to do the run and defense thing, but I just don't think their defense is good enough to do that, which might help Geno Smith because he's gonna have to throw the ball more for them to stay in games. This
Mhm.
isn't the game for that to happen. I think the Broncos defense is good. I think the Broncos offense is gonna be good. I think Russell Wilson is gonna go ham sandwich on the Seahawks. Um, and I mean that's all I need to really say.
Okay. Well, it looks like we're gonna disagree. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I have Denver, but I actually feel like this is a possible very tight game. So first it's at Seattle. I don't know what the hell they do in Seattle, and they have this magical being where they are always hard to beat in Seattle. I don't care if if their whole roster is
Yeah,
5 year olds. Like
yeah.
something about Seattle.
The
Trust me,
Saints used to be that way. The Saints
yeah,
used to be that way.
as a Niners fan, it is hell going there every year. Um, and there's definitely some like Seahawks, like they're fast, young, hungry. They want to prove themselves. I think that there's definitely a chance that this could be a game where Seattle plays over their you know talent or over their
Yeah,
expectations.
yeah. And still
But yeah,
lose by
so
like 12. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You know?
I think Denver. Yeah, I think Denver wins. But I think it'll definitely be like a chippy, physical type of game.
Yeah. Yeah, which I mean that's possible. There's gonna be some
Yeah,
grit on the field for sure. I just think the Broncos are overall the better team.
yeah,
So,
easily.
like I said, the Seahawks need to prove it. So prove it, Seahawks. Anyway, all right. Well, that's our last game to cover. It was fun, man. We
Yeah,
we'll try to get a recording done tomorrow also. We'll do some fantasy starts or sits. I don't know if we'll go specifically game to game, but we'll try to do at least players we want you to start, players we think you should
yeah,
sit. Because I think if we do game to game, we'll probably spend like 3 hours. You know.
yeah,
So being that just for us to choose games took us almost 2 hours. So,
yeah.
you know, um, but y'all look forward to that. Great episode. Pleasure having
Yes,
you, Paul.
sir.
And I can't wait. I can't wait. Football. 2 days.
Football,
2 days.
football,
A little bit
football,
less than 2 days
football.
now. So, anyway,
Yeah, I mean,
y'all
it's a day
have
basically.
a good night.